Múltiples veces son las que hemos alertado a las personas de muchos tipos de estafas que se dan en bolsa. Gente que miente diciéndote que invertirá el dinero por ti, brokers sin licencias o con licencias falsas que te ofrecen apoyo a diario para tus inversiones y que llegan incluso a invertirse altas ganancias para seguir sacándote más dinero. Como también puedes creer que también nosotros mentimos, y algunos incluso nos contactan para preguntar si su broker es bueno o es legal y si esas ganancias que les están mostrando son reales, es mejor que veas este video tú mismo.
I remember making all of the wire transfers from end of November all the way to December 14th. These were huge amounts of money that I thought was going into a legit fund and investment platform that the scammer Hal convinced me to do. So it's just crazy. Just all of this was on paper and stuff, and it's just gone like that.
In our previous film, we met 24-year-old Nikki Hutchinson and watched as her first time on a dating app spiraled into investing nearly $400,000 into cryptocurrency using the money that she had made from selling her childhood home. But when she went to cash in on her profits, something wasn't adding up.
I decided to get on Hinge, a dating app. That's when I actually met this guy named Hal. I asked about hobbies and he rattled off a ton of hobbies, and then at the end it said cryptocurrency, which is where it all started. He said you could be a millionaire at the end of the year. And now I'm currently living in an RV with my dad. You don't expect someone to take what you've shared and twist it or manipulate it or, you know, grab onto it and pull those fears or those emotions out of you. And I think I was in a very vulnerable state because we just sold my childhood home. I didn't have a place to live. There was still so many unclear answers. At that point, he was like, well, have you thought about getting your dad involved? That's when I came to him and I told him, I'm seeing really good margins, I'm seeing profit, like numbers don't lie. I think you should consider investing. Now it was more of us involved, my dad and I. We totaled almost $390K into this platform.
Nikki was depositing her money into real cryptocurrency platforms like Crypto.com, but Hal was scamming her by having her transfer her money into a fake platform where it looked like she was buying and selling crypto and making profits. But when she made those transfers, this is where Hal was taking her money. Nikki thought that she and her dad had amassed $1.2 million in crypto when she was ready to withdraw.
December 19th is when I finally decided to withdraw, and that's where I got this weird message from the customer service. The taxes were over $360,000, and I flipped out. The way they worded it was kind of odd. How are you gonna pay my taxes? You don't know all my information to pay my taxes? That's kind of like where the realization hit that this was a scam. I was just like really confused and scared. By then we had less than $1,000 combined in our bank accounts.
So the texts were just part of the scam to get you to give them more money?
100%. All they're trying to do is get as much money from you. They'll squeeze every penny out, and they'll do it with fear tactics, you know? They'll do it with these timelines. My dad could just tell I was on edge. Like I wasn't hungry, I wasn't drinking, and I just looked very much distraught. And he said, "What's wrong?" And that's when I just started bawling. And I just said, I think I lost all this money. I think we've been in a scam. And he just hugged me and said, "It's gonna be all right, and we're gonna get through this." I felt that, but I also just remember feeling still alone, feeling like I did this to myself and now to my dad. And so that was really hard. Christmas is coming up, and I just remember that we didn't have any money to spend on each other. I called suicide hotline because I just felt so alone. A woman picked up, and it was like the first time I could just start crying to someone. She told me, like, "You were a victim. You were manipulated, taken advantage of. This was not your fault." It was the first time I heard "it's not your fault." I am looking at all my wire transfers, or transactions I should say. These two are $60,000. This one's a $50,000 one. This one was with my dad and I. Yeah, I remember making all of these wire transfers from end of November all the way to December 14th. These were huge, huge amounts of money that I thought was going into a legit fund and investment platform that the scammer Hal convinced me to do. So it's just crazy. Just all of this was on paper and stuff, and it's just gone like that. And it's weird, actually, looking back, I feel a little bit disconnected, because I don't know if I want, personally, maybe my mind just doesn't want to connect again to the feeling. He just took everything from me, so, and my father. So that's always difficult, but yeah. I actually met with the investigator. He pretty much told me the really bad news and the truth of the matter, which is, look, these people we figured out are out of the country. They're probably in Cambodia. It's still an active case, but it's still, the odds of getting anything back are pretty low.
Well, I didn't want to talk to anybody. I didn't want to do anything. I didn't want to, just wanted to just hide, and was trying to hide in a bottle of vodka. I did that for like 2 months, trying to hide instead of facing it. March the 3rd, I said, enough's enough. I said, "You know, Nick, I hadn't had anything to drink in 3 days. And she said, "I know, Dad. It shows." So she knew. She knew.
Yeah, that was...
Yeah, I know. You don't realize the impact you have on loved ones. I feel like I missed an opportunity that may have prevented it. So I have a little bit of guilt about that.
I think there's a lot of things that we both look back on of like red flags, or would have, should have, could have. But you know, I don't think we would have ever had this type of bond and like relationship to openly share these types of things if it wasn't for the hardships we both went through with this scam. And like, obviously it was painful, and I wish we never had to deal with it, but you know, again, the silver lining is we got closer.
Nice.
I finally went back to Hal on WhatsApp and I said, "I cannot believe you swindled my dad and I. Not only me, but my dad, who's retired, who's 66. You've just taken so much from me and from my family. And I just said, I don't know how you can sleep at night. And he said goodbye, and I said goodbye, and that was the last time we ever spoke.
Have you been on Hinge again?
Have I been on Hinge again? No, I've not been on Hinge or Tinder or any dating apps. That said, would I ever go on a dating app? Maybe if I was desperate, or maybe if I'm bored, I'll be honest. But do I think I would actually find a relationship out of one? No. My worst fear happened, is not having any money. I now know, I'm like, okay, well, this is the worst that can happen to me personally. Hopefully this will be it. And you can only rise and go up now.
Este tipo de estafa no solamente está sucediendo en las aplicaciones de citas, sino también en foros de internet, en comentarios de YouTube donde mencionan a alguien que ganó mucho dinero y que por favor les escribas, brokers falsos que obtienen tu número de teléfono porque tu misma compañía de teléfono se los ha vendido y te llaman para ofrecerte invertir hasta que aceptas, porque no paran de llamarte hasta que le dices que sí. Incluso todavía hay gente que nos dice que para qué van a pagar nuestros servicios aquí en el Submarino Bursátil si su broker les ha dicho que todo lo es gratis y que ellos van a ganar y están ganando mucho dinero, que cada día les muestran ganancias. Y como dijo la víctima que acabamos de ver en este video, la muchacha esa, los números nunca mienten. Pues sí mienten, porque estamos en el año 2022 y no solo hay una guerra de bombas que están cayendo, sino también hay una guerra cibernética que viene ya de hace varios años. Y si usted lo estafa una persona de Camboya o de cualquier otra isla del Caribe o de todo el Atlántico o el Pacífico, donde los gobiernos no se preocupan de eliminar a estos criminales, usted, con perdón de la palabra, estará jodido y deseará haber visto antes este video y haber contratado nuestros servicios. Despierta ya, no todo lo que brilla es oro. Nosotros no somos estafadores porque no somos brokers. Nunca decimos que lo somos ni nunca diremos que lo seamos, hasta que a lo mejor algún día pues lo seamos, pero de momento no. Tampoco nunca te pediremos tu dinero ni te lo vamos a administrar, simplemente porque eso es ilegal y esa es la primera señal de una estafa. Al contrario, te recomendamos trabajar solo con brokers legales regulados en Estados Unidos, Europa o Australia, que son los lugares donde no se les otorga fácilmente una licencia de broker a cualquier persona o empresa. Simplemente cobramos por estar contigo, no cada día, no 24 horas, no fingiendo que ganas dinero, sino para que aprendas a administrar tu dinero tú mismo a tu nombre dentro de una cuenta de un broker legal. Con tan solo una clase de poco más de una hora que tengas conmigo, vas a quedar preparado para que cada semana puedas programar órdenes automáticas que compren y vendan empresas y muevan tu dinero en diferentes empresas del mercado cada semana. Nosotros buscamos esas empresas y te las enviamos un día de la semana. Y eso es todo. Con eso ya puedes empezar. Y si quieres aprender más, ahí tienes los cursos y libros que también incluimos en nuestro precio. Pero si no quieres o no tienes tiempo, nosotros estamos para responder preguntas siempre para ti. Pero tendrás que hacer algo porque la vida no es tan fácil, no todo lo que brilla es oro. O no inviertas, simplemente aléjate y deja de las inversiones, o toma acción y compra ya nuestro servicio anual y evita no solamente estafas, sino también pérdidas ingenuas.